Resident Evil 7 was released almost a month ago, and has already become one of my favorite horror games I've played in the last few years. While I was a touch late buying it, only purchasing it after 2 weeks to hold myself over until For Honor came out, it had overwhelming reviews, and I felt completely comfortable in my purchase. And boy, was I right. RE7 takes the classic puzzles and item management of the early Resident Evil games and combines it with a modern first-person shooter aesthetic, and it makes it work extremely well. Scares felt more genuine to me because I had more control over my actions, and I was able to witness them from a perspective that isn't over my shoulder or gazing down from the uppermost part of the wall. Not that I'm discrediting any of the other Resident Evil games, they have their own great atmosphere, but RE7 pulls it off so well, making, in my opinion, one of the darkest Resident Evil games I've ever played. To quote myself, RE7 is actually if the Cool Cat family was moved and infected in the backwoods of Louisiana. Wait, what? There were several times in RE7 that truly scared me, or had me worried. Like in the beginning of the game running from Jack, but you kept being continuously turned around because the protagonist, Ethan, jogs everywhere he is except for when he's outside, like he's obeying the rules at the local swimming pool. Or the way the infected enemies in the game, the molded, shamble towards you as you keep missing those ever so sweet headshots until you're being ripped apart by kitchen knife-sized teeth. Seriously though, the molded creep me out. I think it's their massive maws and vacant eye sockets that really do it for me. And of course, Marguerite, the bug lady.
Stay the fuck out!
She uses a lantern to control insects and make them attack you. As soon as I had seen giant fucking bugs flying around trying to sting me, I knew I was going to hate this section of the game. Not in the sense that it was a bad section of the game, but that I hate bugs, and terrified of dead bugs,
Jesus, fuck!
and hate the sound of insects buzzing around my ears. It also didn't help that Marguerite's boss fight started with arguably the best scare in the game.
Don't you worry none!
And the creepiest boss design as well. For example, sure, Slenderman has elongated limbs, but you already know that coming in. You're not expecting this foul-mouthed mother that attacks you with only swarms of insects to suddenly become their literal mother with an egg sac on her body and crawling on the walls and ceiling trying to jump at you. Capcom, well fucking done with this boss. Jack may be my favorite villain in the game, but Marguerite was my favorite boss, and one that legitimately scared me while fighting her. However, this isn't a review of the entire game. What I wanted to talk about in this video is the new mode you unlock after you beat the game for the first time. Madhouse mode. I had heard Madhouse mode was the true way to play RE7 while I was still going through the game on my first playthrough. I saw a video or two explaining what the mode was and also detailing a few of the changes from the beginning of the game. It looked like it would be an interesting challenge. Ethan takes damage like he's a small child. Jack walks faster. The key to the car is locked in the garage fight. Stuff like that.
Where's my little Ethan?
I mean, it seemed like it would be a lot of fun to go through the game again this way. Pretty much encouraging multiple playthroughs aside from getting a different ending. And while yes, it's been fun, I only played an hour before I went insane. Let me explain from the beginning of the game. So the game starts out normally. I'm speedrunning to get to the guest house because I've already soaked in the atmosphere from my first playthrough and am eager to get to the main house and truly begin the challenge. I'd heard Mia was a bit of a pain in the ass, but didn't worry about it too much. Skipping again to when you first fight Mia with the axe after she throws you through the wall, I immediately two-hand the axe to make my hits do more damage. I miss the first time. Mia stabs me with a knife. I try again, miss, and Mia kills me before I can use any first aid meds. Well, alright. I didn't play it in a week since I beat the game, so understandably I wasn't ready for melee combat of any kind. Back to the cutscene where Mia first tries to stab you, I realize actually how long and annoying this bit is since the game starts you when you just reach the top of the stairs from the basement. I go through the sequence, get the axe, I don't two-hand it, and I slash at Mia when I get the chance, blocking to avoid getting brutalized. I goof up once on one of my blocks, and Mia stabs me. I heal, run around the room to get away from her, and then she comes up behind me and kills me. Alright, this is getting ridiculous. I'm as fragile as a small child. And yes, I know I used this joke already, but I often use the phrase to describe when something is weak. Back at it again. I slam the axe down into Mia, ending the fight. Heading on through the house as usual, I get to when Mia comes back and stabs me with the screwdriver in the hand. Also, at this time, I'd just like to say that Ethan's poor left hand should be shredded considering everything that happens in the game. I mean, just 5 minutes before, it's stabbed directly through with a knife, then stabbed in the same spot, essentially the same hole as a knife if the first aid med wasn't able to regenerate fast enough. Then his hand is cut off by a chainsaw, reattached using a staple gun, which, can I take a moment now to ask why Zoe didn't use first aid med on Ethan if it can reattach limbs? I mean, more than likely you'll have Ethan lose his right leg to Jack when he's trying to get into the crawl space. If Jack just gives you a strong bottle of it and you're fine, why couldn't Zoe? Sure, she might not have had the strong stuff on hand, but it's not like it's very hard to make or find the ingredients for it. Now you have to walk around the entire game looking like a Frankenstein.
Hell of a girl.
You know, if instead of Frankenstein being made from various people, it was just a hand. It seems a lot less scary now, doesn't it? I'm now realizing what a terrible analogy that was. So I stumble up into the attic with a now bloody stump hand. Fun fact, the model for Ethan actually doesn't have his left hand anymore, if you look at his shadow. It's an interesting little detail. I pick up cassette tapes near the tape recorder, and I had heard about this before I played, but they're like ink ribbons from the original Resident Evil games, in that you use them to save, and there are a limited number of them throughout the entire game. No longer can you save every 5 minutes. Autosaves have also been reduced as well, which will make fucking up all the more painful. But we'll get to that in a minute. I get the handgun and search the attic for ammo before heading up the first rung of the ladder, and climbing back down when I hear Mia with the chainsaw about to come through the window. I back up as far as I can and start popping off headshots. Mia charges at me with the chainsaw. I miss 3 shots before she slashes at me, causing severe damage. I head to the other side of the room where the ladder was, and before I can heal, Mia's on top of me as I fall to the ground, chainsaw being cut down my entire body. Yeah, I'm dead. And, well, shit, I'd never seen that death before. I hit retry, and I'm back to after the knife fight. Fuck! Going through the sequence again, I head up to the attic, ignoring the tape recorder, knowing that I got it this time. I definitely got it. Mia chases me through the rooms, cutting down doors and the wall, when I suddenly run out of ammo. I'm forced to finish the fight with the axe, but it's not easy as I keep missing getting gored with the chainsaw until she kills me again. From the top! This time, when going up to the attic, I grab the gun, first aid med, and bullets I'll need for the fight, then head back downstairs to save, so I don't have to grab everything again. I'm chased through the whole attic, twice, getting carefully placed headshots when I can to halt Mia, sending her stumbling backwards. I run back through the Mia-sized hole from the room when the fight first began, and use up the last of my bullets, hitting Mia in the head. She charges at me with the chainsaw, and I quickly turn and run out of the doorway into the hall. As she comes out of the doorway, I pull out my axe and start chopping at her, hitting her twice. I run away expecting a follow attack from her, and I'm already rounding the corner of the hall when I hear her collapse on the floor and the chainsaw turn off. Sighing again, the fight is over. I run around the room because I completely forgot how to get out, and Jack turns me around at the other end of the attic and teleports me to fall next to Mia. 10 out of 10, whole game. GG, no re. 7? As in RE7? Get it? Now in the main house, I start getting nervous. I knew Madhouse was going to be a challenge, but if Mia was that much of a pain in the ass, I can't imagine how scary Jack will be power walking towards me. Exploring around and finding a few items, Jack shows up at the end of the hall, as usual, almost spots me as I'm crouching, peeking around the corner. I head to the crawlspace door room, which is apparently the pantry, and quickly hear Jack approaching the kitchen from the other side of the wall. I look around trying to find a place to hide, when I see some various things stacked up in the corner. I hide behind it, and within a few seconds, Jack slams the door open. I peek up over the objects as Jack stands there, taunting me. The whole time, I'm hoping he won't come farther into the room, or somehow spot me as I'm looking at him. He leaves and heads back into the dining room as I wait a few seconds before leaving the room. Opening the door, I see Jack standing by the table and looking around. I stay crouched next to the counter as I carefully head for the single door into the hallway. Opening the door, I hear from across the room, "Hello there! How you been?" That's my Jack impression. I bolt out of the kitchen, closing the door behind me. I make my way for the key to the crawlspace at the end of the hall near the metal doors. Jack catches up extremely quickly as I block his attacks, and he turns me around every other second until I make it back to the dining room. I go around the table to make space between us. He smashes it, as planned, and I run for the crawlspace. I try to unlock it as Jack turns me around and cuts off my leg with the shovel. I heal up during the sequence and run out of the door, closing it behind me. I head to the room with the clock puzzle and use the table and couches to make Jack take his time going around as I hurry back to the crawlspace once more, unlocking it as Jack gives up taunting me from the other room. Hey there! Thanks for watching my first scripted video ever. While the Fashion Souls videos are loosely scripted, just outlining actions and rough drafts of dialogue, this video was completely based around an 11-page document. And I know what you're probably not thinking at all. That didn't seem like 11 pages, Papa Mala. Well, that's because it isn't. We're halfway through my hour in Madhouse mode, and there's still several intense encounters with Jack left to tell. So, this video will be split into 2 parts. The next part should be out within a week or so. Unless you're from the future, then congrats! The video is already available! I want to give a special thanks to liltommyj, one of my favorite musicians that makes plunderphonic songs that were used in this video and many of the other videos I make, and PogotKittenArt, the one that made the chibis of me that I didn't use in a video until a year after I commissioned them. What can I say? And a especially big thanks for those that sat through the whole video. It truly means a lot to me. If you like this style of video, then please let me know in the comments. I enjoy doing these kinds of big projects that take a few days to create, rather than, pumping out playthroughs of games like I used to do. So, honestly, any feedback on these kind of videos will be completely and highly appreciated. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time, and peace.